Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DoorDash LCO. It is time for Mammoth. Of course, the name I accidentally came up with while tying my tongue, saying words too quickly, and then
Gonna call you the Matt Kench, but keep that tongue away from me.
Maybe. Well, you know, there could be a chance for me to maybe dress up as Tom Kench at some point in the future. So that could happen. That could not happen. Anyway, don't hold me to it. But something that you need to hold me to is that we love content. And you guys have listened today. I bloody love it as well. So we asked someone earlier at home how to say their name. And he's actually responded with the video response I asked for, letting us know how to say his name. So at LCO, here's the answer to your curiosity, how you pronounce my name from Edmund. Last name. Well, here it is. Let's have a listen. Hey.
Yes, hi guys. Thanks for the shout out on the LCO. So my name's Edmund Colson. A lot of people don't get it correct, so good first attempt. Yes to a Diagonal's victory.
Hey,
I love that.
hey, my man.
Beautiful.
Dude,
That's perfect.
what an accent, by the way.
I'd
Actually love it.
yeah, he was the one from South Africa,
Yeah.
right?
That's South Africa, I believe, yeah.
Beautiful, lovely accent
Yeah.
coming in there.
Fantastic.
Now we do have 2 more pieces of content as well, so let's jump right on into it. Believe this one is from Peronius, old mate who's always in chat there, having a good damn time. Enemy Lee Sin Jungle is Free Sin, Kevia Pro LCO jungler, me a Bronze Solo Q jungler. So he seems to understand how to get a double too. I heard LCO likes memes. Thank you very much for that one, Peronius. Now we'll jump into the 3rd and final meme that we have for you guys here. And Jubes, you'll like this one.
What is that?
It's gone too far.
It's you as Jubes in Jubes.
But what's the movie?
Well, it's American. What's the American Beauty? So it's Australian Juby.
Can I tell you guys what? Can I say if we're permitted, able to travel at the end of year, I'll let you guys do that to me. I'll literally lay down on a table and you can
There's
juke
no
me up.
way. There's no way.
100%. 100%. Let me tell you something about me. There's something you need to know about me. I'm not shy or scared of much. Okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a few demons, but I tell you what, taking the clothes off is not one of them.
Okay.
That's a bit of raunchy broadcast today. Now let's talk about the game. We've got Mammoth coming up. Let's talk Gravitas first. Jubes, Australian Juby, please tell us what's so great about this lineup and how they're doing so well this split.
Well, they're very aggressive, and they haven't really steered away from what works for them. Akano on those gank junglers, like, I don't think we've seen him do a full clear yet, to be honest with you. Rumor has it, the Krugs are still alive, the Gromp hasn't been killed yet. Like, he's still just looking at those lanes, sniffing around to find leads for Kiese and Safa. Thomashin and Floppy are actually coming into their own, and I think Floppy has really found a little bit of stability with an AD carry partner, right? Like, we used to see Piglet come in, Thomashin come in, but now they're just sticking to their guns, and it's all coming together for them. Little bit of a bump in the road, I guess, if you will, right? Like, they haven't been the most consistent bunch, but when they do fire, they fire on all cylinders.
Yeah. They're doing a very, very good job so far. Maybe we get to see a bit of Saffron top lane again with the buff Aurelia this time. However, there's a battle of 2 teams. Second team, of course, is Mammoth, who are still hunting for that W. And Wei, they didn't update his player photo. He's bald now. I want to see bald
It's
Wei.
factually incorrect.
Yes.
That is the wrong face. That's how he felt when he had hair, right? A little bit down, a little bit, ominous. But now he's got no hair. He's keen to ascend to God status and get a dub for the boys. And we were talking about this before, right? That this is a matchup that they have won in the past, all the way back in Split 1, back in March. Feels like an eternity ago, given lockdowns and all the rest of it. But they managed to beat Gravitas then. So if there was the potential for some feel-good vibes in chat, then this could be the game.
Yeah, and if there's a team to do it for Mammoth, it's probably this team. You'd have to have Goodo and Frost playing out of their mind. I feel like Wei hasn't had an opportunity to shine in the last couple of weeks. Yes, he's had a couple of okay games, but he's not the Wei that we knew from Split 1. He's not having those crazy individual performances, and I'd love to see him get back to his form now that he's got the 0 to 12 buffed, right?
I mean, it doesn't, like, the way I look at it, right, is when you 0-12, and the more you lose, the closer you are to a win. So each time they lose, it should be celebrated because they're closer to a win, right? That's how it works.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. Look, the less that they feel the pressure on their shoulders of getting that win or people expecting them to get a win, the more chance you probably have of getting a win, because there's a lot of pressure on the other teams to not screw up and not lose to who is the team on the bottom of the table. So we're not going to beat around the bush. That is what it is at the moment. And we love what we have seen from Gravitas. So let's see if they have what it takes to back it up and get the W over Mammoth in today's matchup. Yes. There was
Oh,
no
is that
real...
me? Okay, yeah,
It's,
no,
nah,
absolutely.
nah, it's not you. It was Nat. Nat was supposed to go, that's great, and slide on in, but she didn't initially. But she hit it.
I'm sorry. I wish I could control the sliding in, but I will say that you guys are right. You know, even though Mammoth, if they lose, I don't know why we're laughing. I feel
I'm
like
so
I'm
immature today. I'm
accidentally-
sorry. Carry on. Carry on.
But even if Mammoth lose, they still win because they learn a whole lot more. But look, I'll try and let's give me Happy's moment of just giggling like a little kid, and I'll jump into this interview with Safa and Wei. Wei, man, I've got to be the first to say it. I've got to bring it up. The commitment to the shaved head. Props, absolute props.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so good. You're looking absolutely slick. How does it feel to be bald now?
I think it's a bit of an upgrade. I think I've evolved into maybe Professor X here. I've got the whole look going from like Way X, so I think it's gonna be be a dub for sure.
I love it. This is it. You've got the boys on the before, they were saying that, you know, you've got the O12 power spike, you've got the bald power spike now, and there you go. We're even going to change your name there for you on the lower thirds. We've got Professor X joining us. But
Amen.
look, Gravitas were the one team that you guys could beat last split. Do you have the confidence, if you believe that you're going to beat them again today, this split?
Yeah, I'm really confident today. I think scrims have been like really good as well, like the past like 2-3 days. So yeah, I'm really confident for this W.
Do you think the new patch is something that's going to help you guys and potentially change up some of your gameplay?
I don't think there's like anything like super meaningful in the patch, apart from like I think Relay was like the only like really big one, but no, it's not going to change up our gameplay that much, I don't think.
Alrighty, and Safa, over on Gravitas, how are you guys feeling down there, and how's the atmosphere?
Yep, it's pretty good. Though I do just want to say, the only time that Mammoth did take the win against us was when I wasn't playing. So, I mean, there might be like a contributing factor there, so who knows?
Yeah, I actually do think I remember bringing that up on broadcast when it happened. I was like, it's the Safa effect. But look, you know, now Wei's got the bald effect, so it could still be it. But how are you guys feeling? I already asked you how you're feeling going into this one. With gameplay-wise, do you think this patch is going to shake up too much for you and we could potentially see some new champs coming out?
I think the patch definitely worked in our favor. I don't think it changes too much in the meta itself, but rather it just kind of recycled some older champions and, you know, brought out some newer ones, so that's about it.
Well, I look forward to seeing what might be coming out from you guys, but thank you both so much for joining me, and good luck with the game today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Look, I think he looks good. I'm gonna say it.
He
does.
He looks great. So he's gonna have a whole lot of aerodynamics in the server. He's gonna make sure he's going straight down mid lane, running it in a good way. Hopefully.
That's not. I was gonna say that's not a good thing.
I
Could be
do
a
want
good
to
thing.
say though, like the commitment to do it. A lot of people put things out there. They're like, oh, I'll get this tattoo or I'll shave my head if so and so happens. But Wade did it, man, and he looks good. I like the bald look. I really
Rusty.
do.
I was
I'm
about
not
to
gonna
say you
defend
should
that
just
one.
say Rusty's
No,
name.
okay, I wasn't,
Bomb
like,
vibe.
in my head, it was actually someone else in Twitch chat that I was, like, throwing under the bus, because Rusty is genuinely getting this tattoo. We've, like, looked over designs and tattoo artists and everything. So it is definitely happening.
It'll happen eventually, hopefully, at some point down the line in the future. Now,
In the non-COVID
predictions. Let's have a quick look at what everyone's thinking in this matchup today. And Jubes has gone for Mammoth. So he thinks now is the time that they get their first W.
Yeah, well, partly yes, but partly I also made a promise to the Gravitas owner that I would never tip them again. So that's ultimately half. But also the other half is like I'm a big Goodo fan, big Frost fan. I mean, Nectar, I've been seeing had some good games in solo queue recently. So I said, you know what? Why not roll the dice?
Okay.
And I've rolled it.
So if we jump onto the second page, let's see what Nat's gone. Is it just going to be all Gravitas here? No, Rusty as well
Rustog.
with the
He
secret
copied me.
Mammoth.
See?
So he copied him. True.
Yeah, did see on Twitter he did flip a coin for this one apparently, so I wouldn't really take his prediction for word. But Jubes, I want to ask, aside from being a fan, do you genuinely believe Mammoth have what it takes to win here?
Are you making me say like a hard definite or percentage?
Either or, whatever you want to give, man.
I would say it's like 40% Mammoth can win.
Okay, I like
which
that.
is close to 50.
I would love to see
Yeah.
Mammoth win.
That's some pretty good odds, honestly. Now, exclamation DoorDash, if you're still hungry, I've had my dinner. I hope you guys have as well. But even if you haven't, look, get dessert on DoorDash. It is getting to dessert time. Surely you got a Krispy Kreme close to you guys or something like that. Anyway, something else that's pretty close to Champ Select. So let's go jump into Game 3. It's Gravitas and Mammoth.
Let's see if Mammoth can get their victory. After all, they need one. They need it for the power of this mid laner, but also they need it so they can try and keep their playoff streams alive. Whereas Gravitas currently sitting dead even, 6-6. They'll be looking to continue the good work they've put into the split so far.
Yeah, 6-6. So I mean, 7-6. Then that puts you on par with Peace, I believe. Peace is 7-6, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, then we start talking like, do Gravitas, because they have the head-to-head against Peace too. So it's actually dangerous territory if you're a Peace fan. So Gravitas definitely, this is a must-win for them. And Lulu being picked up here first, partly, it's good to take this one because Lulu's just really strong, but also it's a very good deny for Shinky. Frost and Shinky have played Lulu Cogmore probably more times than anything else.
Yep.
But this is a good shake-up. Like the Thresh being picked up straight away, it is very good into the Lulu lane. If anyone wants to see how the Thresh into Lulu lane goes, go back, watch LCK. T1 versus, who was it? Dumb One Kia, and Carrier put on a clinic, like an absolute clinic. It was just bot diff.
Yeah,
Just
I heard about the game. I actually haven't watched it, but I did hear about some of the posts on social media where everyone's praising him.
Yeah, it was just complete bot diff, like hook after hook, solo kills in the bot lane, goes mid, kills mid, like he was just everywhere, and he took Predator on Thresh, if you didn't, and he goes like, probably my third time doing it, I just did it, and it worked.
What an absolute mad lad.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if they can maybe tap into some of that energy here today, because you heard from Wei saying, well, it's a new patch. We're not really too phased about it. We're going to kind of stick to our guns. We're going to do what's worked for us in the past. So Diego's being locked in. We've seen that played in mid lane so far from them. We'll get to see if that can be flexed elsewhere. But, as you touched on before, briefly returning to the point about this Lulu, good deny obviously from Mammoth, but we know that this is a pick that can be flexed in multiple directions. And Kyosei has been putting in some stellar performances on this in China. He's probably been the one really looking to lead the line as that.
And that's the important thing, right? Like you actually refreshed my memory there in the sense that I was like, well, this is Lulu going to the bot lane. It's going support. But, Kyosei on the Lulu is an absolute menace. And, it's not often that we, have Lulu, mid lane, carry be like synonymous terms. However, like when Kyosei is on these champs, he's genuinely a carry threat, which obviously sounds funny to say. The other side of the coin, this might be Wei that's on the Karma, which again, we haven't really seen him play.
Yeah, it could be indeed, right? And it kind of just gives both teams now some clear empowerment abilities to say we can group up, we can continue from here. But it seems that Mammoth aren't totally sold on this Lulu just yet. They've gone for the ban on towards the LeBlanc. We know that Kyosei also been given a chance to play the hard carries, can embarrass people. We saw it in that highlight going into this one, right? The LeBlanc into Kiana, where Kyosei finished something like 8-1. It was unbelievable, his stats in that game. But I'm starting to think that, if you're looking at the side of Mammoth, that this may just, in fact, be a mid lane Viego.
Maybe, but then they have the Thresh, right? So, like, what is it, Karma top? I don't know if Nectar plays that. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world to play, but again, you need to, like, be, I guess, switched on. Like, you need to know when the right time to group is. Because, again, when you play these, like, Lulu Karma comps, you need to know what you can give and what you can't give. And what I mean by that, and it sounds like common sense though, is you run the risk of falling down 100 CS, and no matter what enchanter you're playing, you're useless because you don't have the 2-3 item power spike, you don't have enough gold, and then like whatever you're doing, it's just not enough, or you lose the game through the side. So it's like a balancing act. You still want to maintain levels, maintain CS, maintain EXP, but again, like does Nectar play that style?
Well, it's interesting to see because Nectar's most popular champions with the Renekton and Set have been denied. They've been banned away in the second phase. So the continued question really is, what will Nectar play to add a little bit of assistance in this matchup? We have seen, Karma flex in that position before, and offers a fair bit of utility in that regard, and sometimes we've been quite critical of Nectar's individual performance, right? How the matchups have been playing out. He played Ornn in their last game to try and give themselves that, that late game insurance, if you will, that group up policy. I think sometimes that's what Mammoth need, right? To all be on the same page and say, we're going now. Let's find success.
And you know what we've missed? Aurelia didn't get picked up. He got banned. Oh no, I lied. Never mind.
That's a Kyosei Lux.
Late.
I'm pretty sure that is a Kyosei Lux. We saw it happen before,
Yeah.
right? He's a bit of a mage lover, and look, anything that he can get his hands on, it's gonna pop off on. And Sapphire, well, you love to see it. He may just be running it back with the classic Aatrox.
Yeah. But like, what do we do here now? What do we pick here if you're Mammoth? Do you put Karma mid, take Thomas Kench, and then just put all your eggs in the Frost basket on Aphelios? It's genuinely not a bad idea. I mean, Tom Kench probably has a decent lane into the Aatrox, get the heal cut early. I'd love to see it, to be honest with you. And you also deny, and again, while we don't have it, but let me finish my point. You also deny the Lux ult, right? Like, if you're close enough to the important carry, whether that's Wei, whether that's Frost, you can just gobble them up. But
So
Lee
question
Sin
really became, right, had they practiced it? Were they ready for that, that potential option?
this is fine though, right? Like, it's Lee Sin jungle, it's Viego top lane. I don't think Lee is in as bad of a spot as it was made out to be. Like, I'm pretty sure Kevin just said it was turbo bad or like garbage.
Sure.
But I don't want to put words in his mouth, but maybe he did say something like that or it wasn't good. But I mean, it's just another playmaker that can get stuff done early, right? Like, the Xin Zhao's off the table, the volley bear's been picked up. It's not a bad matchup for Lee Sin. So you're not going to get out-tempoed, you're not going to get out-ganked. Like, it's fine. Like, Gudo's mechanically very good, and he probably feels the need to impact a few lanes. So again, I'm all for it, particularly in this composition. And if I'm being brutally honest again, I really, really like what Mammoth have put together. I'd say they've won the draft.
Well, let's see if that is enough for them to get across the finishing line, because they need a dub. They absolutely do need one to continue the excitement in the league, right? It's a league that we just can't really crack, right? We've got favorites, we predict them, chat predicts them, but that result doesn't actually happen, right? So I mean, you can't hate this region because there is just so much excitement behind it. It's not just 40-minute, fasting, waiting for that one single play to end in a game. It's all about looking to punch on and flex your ego, flex your strength, and hopefully get noticed on the international.
100%. And if we look at both drafts, I guess head to head, right? They both want to do similar things. Well, but this is where I guess the volley bear doesn't really fit the composition, because Akano wants to dive backline and wants to go in. He doesn't really want to play like front to back because Akano does actually go tankier build. He doesn't go the Divine Sunderer, but you aren't going to out DPS, in my opinion, Mammoth's composition in a traditional front to back. Like, if you have Aphelios just free hitting, empowered with Karma shields, Lee Sin's gonna have a Gore Drinker, the Viego is going to do so much work, then I really worry for the Gravitas' composition if it's not a skirmish heavy game. If Gravitas are able to fight around neutral objectives and find flanks, then so be it.
Well, let's check in with Poltron from Gravitas and see what he thinks of the situation as we welcome you back onto the broadcast. And so to ask, final Super Week here for the boys. You've got yourself a nice strength of schedule up against Mammoth here today, PGG tomorrow, and then to close out a week with Legacy. Could this be the week for the perfect 3-0?
Definitely could be, Skimmy. Obviously, coming into it against Mammoth, although they are 0-12 currently, they're definitely hunting for their first win. We're not going to ease up and let them take it off us. I do think after, going through the drafting phase, I'm pretty confident in what we have actually picked. I do think the boys can bring home the dub.
Let's see what I can do, because obviously you've got a fair bit of comfort on your side. We see that Thomas Shen loves to go for the Varus, but I want to talk about Kyosei, the fact that Lulu's come back, right? Lux has come back. This is an age-old classic of his, so I guess we're seeing a new patch, and whilst Lux wasn't changed, what was the identifying factor to say Lux works here?
All right. Well, I think this game, although Lux I wouldn't say is a strong pick necessarily, I think Kyosei loves his Lux. He's very proficient at, hitting those skill shots and everything. I do also think that Lux is excellent into Aphelios. I mean, we have the range advantage. They can't really get into us. It's just going to be unplayable for them.
And on a final note, Jules mentioned before, a dub here today would put you at 7-6. That would actually tie you in fourth spot with Direwolves and Peace. You know, well on your way to still continuing that journey of getting into playoffs. So with the days counting, you know, how are the boys feeling?
Well, yeah, that's definitely the plan. We want to get that 7-6 scoreline. The boys are feeling really good. I do think this is the win we need to, you know, get us in the right headspace for a 3-0 week.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best there, Poltron, and we'll see how the game plays out.
Thanks for that.
Well, Jubes, it definitely could be a 3-0 week. We've seen them beat Internet in the past as well. So, you know, the upsets could continue, and we'll see how this game plays.
This pretty much solidifies the game here. If Gudo does not find a successful gank,
he has to. Fantastic opening there by Shinky. Flash flays in, hits the death centers. Backed up here now by Gudo. TP's flying on in, looking to try and be the difference maker as the first blood is found by Gudo, but can they find a trade back? Gudo is low. Kyose flashing forward, but a fantastic play from Shinky denies it. And they have opened the floodgates and more. Triple kill to start off the game from Mammoth.
yeah, what I was going to say was it solidifies the game because if Gudo doesn't find successful gank here, he's going to lose his whole topside jungle to Akano. Now, you have to say what he's benefited from bot side of the map is going to be worth it. He's burnt all the summoner spells on Thomas Shen. He's burnt all the summoner spells on Kyose. It's a really good 3v3 and a follow from Nectar, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Nectar hasn't even lost that much, so if you're a Mammoth fan, it's positive signs early.
Absolutely. You love to see it right now. Solo lane has got some kills. Bot lane has a kill. It is onto the Aphelios, not onto the support, but Shinky played that so well.
Yeah, Shinky did, and I mean, Lux just teleporting in there, level 3, doesn't really offer much. Like, there's no ultimate. There's nothing. And I mean, in that skill... Oh, Predator.
Well, he's already put in that
Slate.
flash. He's in trouble. He may just pull on down again. There's the Predator tech
Safa's
from
dead
T1
too.
coming in clutch right here for the LCO.
No.
Now it's Way that finds himself a kill. And the love is being shared across the team.
The love is being shared. Look, it's 1-1-1-1. Now all we need is Shinky to get a kill, and we're laughing.
He's a true support player, isn't he? He racks up all the assists and nothing else.
And again,
Fight
there's not much being denied across the board, right? Like, if you look at Mammoth, CS leads across the board except jungle.
Oh.
And he's dead.
Shinky really woke up and had a cereal today, I tell you that much. And whilst the hook was good and he engaged, could have been the dream. Fortunately, this occasion, the snipe influence of the Varus was just a little bit too much.
And that's kind of the bait, I guess, is like when you land the hook, you can't commit, right? You need to just land the hook, get the poke down, and then save that for 2 or 3.
Let's see what they can do in this one, because it's going to be an explosive game. It was to be expected. No surprises here. When a team is 0-12, they need something to work for them. And with a schedule like this, they might think that today is the day. They've had enough. Gravitas, as you heard, so very close to keeping themselves up above water in that top 4 discipline. Akana's being patient, waiting for the gank, opens up with a stun. There's the polymorph, too much CC, can't click the lantern. Gravitas fire back.
Now, can I just say, this is why I think a lot of the time Thresh in our region has a lower win rate than it should. Because in that instance, again, I'll hold the thought.
Certainly going to have to hold that thought for a second, and Safa could be in trouble right now, going for those Q charges as much as he can, but Wei hits him with the tether, hands across the kill to Nectar. And now he's got 2 kills in the solo lane.
Yep.
And Mammoth is starting to run away.
Yeah, this is a Nectar game. I mean, I've been seeing him play pretty well in solo queue recently, so again, maybe finding his form. But the one thing I wanted to touch on the Thresh pick in particular was, like, if you have like 2 to 3 waves pushing against you, you have to know you're getting, like, this is a gank angle. It may not come, but this is the window in which you are the most gankable. So Shinky should literally just be lantern there, like a lantern bot. If he's just letting Frost auto the wave, push the rest of that in, get the lantern back, wait for the wave to bounce back, you're actually laughing. Like, you're in a pretty good spot still as Mammoth. But for some reason, he's positioned ahead of his AD carry. And all of a sudden now, what was like so much invested bot side to get you a lead, it's just negated. Like, Thomas Shen and Floppy have just clawed themselves back into that lane.
Yeah, certainly have. Bot lane is not going to be far closer than they would have hoped for, but elsewhere across the map, they've certainly found their success. They've put in place Safa for the meantime. Whilst there hasn't been solo kills onto him as such, they've definitely got the power distributed to deal with him if they were to pop their head into top lane once again. Mid lane as well, Kyose on this Lux. Really punished for the fact of going in for the flash bot side, not finding anything, repeat gank mid, and unable to find much more. Those are your Twitch predictions. Why wouldn't you bet against them at this stage? But I tell you what, if Mammoth can keep this up, there'll be a lot of happy fans in chat.
Yeah, it's wild to me that Kyose is still up. Kyose is still up, you know, a significant amount of CS. Specifically because when he teleported bot lane, the wave was actually frozen as well. So, Wei maybe a little bit of nerves again. Feel like it's a recurring theme though.
Up by 1,200 gold so far. Fantastic start. But let's see how they can look to try and follow things up from here, because in terms of percentages for objectives, that being one of the lowest, that much in part comes to, you know, losing lane states and all the rest of it, I'm sure. But let's see how Mammoth can actually now play from ahead.
I like
this. The first place seems to be to go for this Herald.
Yeah, I like this roam topside. Herald's very important, especially at the 8-minute mark, you know, when the plates are still up. So if Mammoth are able to secure this one, this is going to be an even bigger gold injection into the side of, you know, probably what's going to be Nectar or Frost, right? You don't really want to drop that in the mid lane. Yeah, Karma's still going to do Karma things on those two items, relatively cheap items too. So again, nice little early game here coming out of Good O. We talked about the Lee Sin being, I guess, a questionable pick in the LCO, right? Doesn't have too much success, but so far so good. 103, 4 KP, nearly 100%. So again, he's having a decent game on the Lee Sin early. And Nectar from now on, I think is really just going to have so much success in this lane. Like he's got the key itemization he needs to really deny Aatrox. Like you think of the Bramble Vest, the Sheen, going to be close to the Divine Sunderer now too, and even a gank coming through on the top side.
Yeah, the trading pattern's going to definitely be working in his favor right now, especially into Safa, who only has a Phage. Not much that he can answer back with. Beautiful stun, locked in place. Up pushes the wave as Goodo now patiently waiting in the wings. He's got himself a Herald. If they can get a solo kill here, they could do a lot of work to this turret and potentially even take it down.
Yep. Safa does have flash though, so you'd like to think he's safe. But we'll have to see, does Goodo land the kick? He might get it here.
Very, very patient. Yep. There it is, fantastic. Ward hop, Safa in trouble, has a flash, but has to hold on to it for as long as possible. Nectar to follow with his own ulti, takes the soul, and crashes the wave.
Now you need to keep, now Nectar needs to be aware here. He may need to teleport bot. Volibear has ult, can stop turret aggro completely. So if Thomas, Shen, and Floppy are able to get this wave under turret, then that's a diveable lane. But Goodo is just such a smart jungler, right? Instead of staying topside to drop the Herald, he actually values the Aphelios more than the first turret. Because he's coming in what he thinks to be stopping this dive, right? Like he just made a straight V line for bot side of the map. And Akano's still here, but Goodo's just close enough to counter.
Heads up play there from Goodo. Akano in trouble, looking for the ultimate to close this turret, but the turret doesn't get affected. Shinky still following. Shinky taken down. Akano finds that kill. The polymorph is clutch, and the exhaust is just a fraction too good as Frost flashing forward with the dream setup, but gets locked in place with a binding cleanse or not. It does not matter. Everybody grouping up to the bot lane. It's level 1 all over again.
Yeah, level 1 all over again, but this time Gravitas come out ahead. They've played, honestly, Thomas, Shen, and Floppy have been a real, I guess, pivot point for this team in the sense that the game was kind of getting away from them. I know it's very early to say that, but it really, really, really was. And in saying all of that, they've been able to really stabilize and offer a strong point for their team. So it was well read from Goodo, but it just misplayed from Shinky and Frost, right? Like that's as, I guess, simple as we can put it. Wait, you can't do anything to Safa, if I'm being honest with you.
Yep, he's just observing. People spotting in a cafe is what it looked like there for Wei. Not doing much more than acting as a human ward.
I'm a big people spotter in cafes. I sometimes go there, get a coffee, sit down by myself and just analyze.
It's interesting, right? Like you're like trying to get into their mind. Like, what are they thinking about? What's their life like?
Yeah, I go, why are they here? And then and then I'm like, wait, why am I here? Like,
and it goes far too down the rabbit hole, and you suddenly get a little bit manic.
I genuinely enter the matrix sometimes.
Yeah, it's good to have that.
Yeah, I like it, but
bit of self-realization.
Yeah, take a book.
Absolutely.
I don't read, but I take the book so I look like that guy that reads.
You look cool.
Yeah,
Got the MacBook as well.
Yeah. Mammoth flare. Nice from there from Safa, saying good day to his mates. And first turret's probably going to drop here.
Yeah, well, they're going to repeat themselves topside, aren't they? Another wave crashing on in. The 2v1 setup like before.
He's dead.
Safa may just fall on down. He's going to pop the world ender, but his world might end instead. Turret's gone, the first of the game, but he's looking to try and 1v2 as he's doing a lot of work into Goodo. He doesn't have any completed items. And he doesn't have any more sustain. He'll fall on down, but not without Gravitas answering back bot side.
That's a good rotation here from the Mammoth bot lane, right? They know they can't stay under this turret, particularly with, you know, they probably think Volibear ult is up, and this will actually...
Wow, that's a turnaround. Well played, Kyosei.
I feel like that's illegal.
How did you just walk out of the lane, is what I want to say.
Like, how do you get ganked mid? Because, you know, like, if that's an Aurelia, I'm like, okay, you know, I understand the outplay potential and whatever, but you can't tell me the Lux 1v2 is legit. Can you?
Well, I don't understand
We
how you
need
can
a
flash Final Spark and then basically be like, all right, guys, I've disrespected you 1v3, walk away.
We for sure need a replay, and we'll get the replay, but I don't think that should happen. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, right? Like, he's picked the Lux, and he's making it work. You gank me, I kill you. Simple as that. I mean, I didn't think Lux had that, you know, in her kit, but, you know, here we are.
Here we go. So let's see how it started.
Okay. Oh, I mean, that's just clean. That is clean. That is very clean, actually. That's squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah. You knew that one was coming.
I knew when that was coming. That was tucked away in your locker.
Now, the one I guess thing I wanted to touch on is Varus's option in terms of being on hit. I think in this game you have so much value with lethality Varus, particularly because you get the shield breaker item. Refresh my memory.
Ah, Serpent's Fang.
Serpent's Fang, right? And at your 3 items, you do so much damage, and you deny a lot of the shields that come on through. And you think about the composition, like, you're going to do so much damage to Lee Sin, to Karma, to Aphelios, and I mean, if you're able to chunk Karma or Thresh out before a fight starts, that's half of their composition gone, right? That's going to be able to peel and kite back. So, again, Tomashen's made the on-hit work. I'm not saying that, you know, it's been a terrible pick, but, you know, just food for
Serpent's
thought.
Fang could certainly find a lot of value, right? Like, as you say, triple shielding is there for Mammoth. Could help prevent the resets.
I mean, you can still, like, we're seeing a lot of builds now where they do pivot a little bit into... Ooh, damn, the whole wave's gone, and it's such a short cooldown. But we're seeing a lot of builds that, you know, they may build, you know, 2 items and pivot into it 1 lethality item, which is that Serpent's Fang.
Yeah. Just to serve its purpose. Once again, Goodo showcasing his flair.
Yeah.
That's Kyosei gone. And these two together, Nectar and Goodo, are on something else today.
And I genuinely don't think Lee's a bad pick, right? This is what I was saying, especially when you fall down this late into the draft, or you pick at Lee Sin as a flex pick and there's not much left on the table. So again, Goodo's showing us why we consider him an up pick.
Yeah, well, he is a really good player, and he's continued to make plays across the map right now. Shinky once again looking for the flash flare to start things off, to try and get out Floppy!
Ooh.
There is the snipe from afar, and that is Aphelios with the right weapons at the right time.
Yeah, and the one thing I wanted to say is I genuinely think Goodo is like a top 3, top 4 jungler from what we've seen. I mean, when your team's 0 and 12, particularly in the jungle position, it's really hard to stand out, right? You can't, like, your role is pretty much the first one to suffer, because when your lanes are losing, you start to lose jungle camps, you lose EXP, you lose gold, you lose leads. But for them, like, Mammoth being 0-12, they've had games where they should have won. Right, I could list like maybe 3 or 4 where, you know, if they had their time again, they probably win, right, Mammoth. So Goodo for me has been such a pivot, or like such a strong point rather of that team, and of this team, and he's just showing us again today, like 8 kill participation out of the 9, and most of this gold lead that Mammoth have, well not most, all of the gold lead has really come down to how well he's played the jungle matchup. Yeah,
he's played it phenomenally. Really showcasing that he can look to start off these fights, right? That's twice now the kicks have come out to guarantee things. Ooh. Once again, Shinky on point with these death sentences.
I feel like the death sentences, though, have been to a little bit to his own demise. Like...
Not always the one he's looking for.
Hang on.
Safa again. being shown no favor this time around. He's 0-3 so far, Jubes, and looking to try and make that 0-4 as a three-man gank continues to jump on upon him. He's looking to try and life leech as much as he can, but into the Bramble Vest is just a little bit too much to deal with.
The problem that you run into is you've drafted an Aphelios composition facilitated by, you know, a few champions. But what happens when the Aphelios is not the carrier of the comp and it's actually the Viego? Because I'm quite concerned to see what happens when the Viego runs at you with Karma and Powered Shields, you know, potentially with a Thresh Lantern if things get a little bit dicey, but it's almost like the Viego is the hyper carry at this point.
Game of the day for me, for sure. It's definitely delivering. 10 kills to 5. Mammoth in the driver's seat.
Gale Force Aphelios too.
Yeah, 1k leads. There's the Gravitas, forced to get the Stormbringer. Akano forced to dash away. Gudo looking for that kick, but he can't find it because Kyosuke's already removed Shinki. Akano flashing away. Wild Growth is clutch. But now can they find any more kills? Because Way's stuck on the wrong side of this one. Doesn't seem to matter though. Dragon up and available.
It looked like such a good kick, but again, I think Mammoth, when they get a lead, they don't know what to do with it, right? Because they can take this dragon for free, or they can force Gravitas to face check them. Then they can play off the Thresh Hook, they can play off the Lee Sin kick, but there's a turret there that's defending them. And Kyosei on the Lux pretty much just killed someone from cross map. Like, Shinki just went down, and I honestly didn't even see his corpse. So again, Gudo going a little bit too deep there. First mistake of the game for him, but Nectar and Frost had no chance to auto-attack in that entire team fight.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough situation for them to try and get access in to start the fight in the first place, right? Kind of bit of a heist from Gravitas. Get in, get out, and prevent any clapback. And that just means that the game, it was already a fragile lead that Mammoth had. It was only about 1,000. Now fast approaching a 20-minute mark. We're back to square even.
So it looks like a good pick, but I think you're happy with the Volibear ultimate. Then you just reset and you take the dragon, right? But again, they're trying to finish a team fight that they don't necessarily need to finish. You need to take the chunk, take the ultimates, and that's a win. And you fall back to the dragon, and if they want to contest, then you win the team fight. But you don't need to end it all in a split second, right? Particularly when you draft the composition that you've drafted, it's almost like you're going to be in the battle for longer, and you'll win through doing that. Not through diving turrets and playing one by one. Like, Karma didn't shield anyone in that instance. Like, Thresh falls down, so disjointed, and the pick, I guess if you call it a pick composition from Gravitas, just did what it was intended to do. Picked up Shinki, picked up Gudo. They were able to kite back underneath their turret, and that was just well executed there.
I wonder if Gudo there maybe falling into a false sense of hope, perhaps some solo queue tendencies, right? You know, I've got to find these, you know, backline kicks to start off these fights. Yeah, not necessarily needing to play in that fashion. Not all doom and gloom though, but it is worth noting that the Baron has spawned. The vision's been laid down here by Gravitas, and they're just going to start it.
Nectar's bot side with teleport. It is on hit Varus, so the Baron does melt quicker. That's honestly a very good decision from Gravitas, right? To have the composure. Oh,
Well, they identified, we've got the TP, we can disengage.
nice.
Good Lantern.
That's the thing. Having the composure to pull the trigger on the Baron, force the teleport, and now you gain teleport advantage, right? I don't think Gravitas, you know, were disillusioned to think that they were going to finish that, but the fact that they were able to get such a key cooldown, now Safa can go bot side and farm the wave, push it out. We have total gold there, but not sure if he still has teleport. But they're pulling the trigger now.
Yeah, it's Mammoth's time to shine now, isn't it? And Frost has some good damage onto this as well. Doesn't have the Kraken Slayer, but certainly can still output a fair bit of damage, especially with the Chakrams.
Yeah, but Lux ulti, how much is that?
Down to 40%, getting lower and lower. Hook goes out, two-man flare. In comes Safa. What can he do? Not enough for Akano to even use his ultimate as he dies before it even connects. Now 5 kills here for Nectar. We're looking to take down these souls. 2 kills for him. Another found. 3 kills for Mammoth in total. The Baron dance completes, and well, wouldn't this be an upset?
Yeah, this would be an upset, and this is Baron, right? Because the only Kyosei can actually steal it. I'm holding my breath. I'll analyze later. Oh. And he's just dead.
Goes out too early. Yep. Yeah, he's just tried to one-shot somebody instead. Shinki soaked it all up. Nobody dead. 5 members strong. All claimed a DoorDash Baron buff.
And it's the Nectar and Gudo show, right? Like, those two in that particular team fight really just did so much work. Gudo, I think, got like a 4-man or 3-man Gorjinka cleave. Healed for so much when he was basically at lethal. As we get the replay coming on through. Again, this is a pretty ballsy call, right? I mean, they started the Baron against the Lux. Guro, so much healing there, plays Disruption in the backline, does just enough so Nectar can get a first reset. Once the Viego gets one reset in a team fight, it's pretty much as good as done, right? Like, he's the one that needs to die first, but with the lead that he has, I'm not sure if that's even possible. So, again, very good skirmish coming out of Mammoth, and we're starting to see I guess the fruits come to fruition. Guro planted the seeds, and Nectar's just, you know, really blossoming.
He certainly is. He's having the game of his life right now.
Yeah, he is.
He really is performing to the level that he'll be keen to prove himself as.
I also don't want to be that guy, but I think we'll bring it up anyway, because it was in the interview. Safa said, the last time Mammoth beat Gravitas, it was because he wasn't playing.
Yes, I knew you were going to bring this up at some stage.
I
Look,
had
hey,
to.
These are just classic things that didn't age well.
Mate, it's content. And I respect Safa for giving the answer. Like, it spices it up. But also, like, it's good fun that Guro decided to focus that lane in particular.
There've been a couple of roster swaps between both teams since all that start back in Split 1. But, you know, regardless, you know, we've been harping on about how Safa has been, you know, really core to, you know, Gravitas getting these victories. And what happens when they fall behind? I mean, 0-5. It's rough.
Yeah, and he has been good. He has been very good, but this game, I mean, this game we're probably seeing, if you have to be critical of Safa, we're seeing why, right? Because Akano spent most of his time bot side, and Safa being the weak side, he wasn't able to do it. And I feel like this is something that we see, right? Like, Gravitas have lost 6 times, but Safa does not play the weak side very well, right? And, you know, we're seeing Nectar with 6 kills, Guro with 3 kills, but 8 assists. And, you know, we were seeing Gravitas with a pretty substantial lead bot side, but it's just been completely negated from the skirmishes that we've seen.
They're doing a fantastic job, though, of stalling this game out, because they are playing for a bit of a sole point situation, you'd have to say here. Down 5k, but got themselves 3 dragons to their name. And just waiting out the remnants of this Baron buff, which has gotten 15 seconds.
I'll be honest with you, it's probably a soul that you don't want to take. At this point, like, if you're Gravitas and you stall this Baron out and Mammoth take the dragon, you're very happy with that, because then you don't have to fight the Elder. You know what I mean? It gives you more time in the game, more time to farm waves, more time to scale up. Like, if, you know, if that's what even your comp does. I guess you have the Lulu, you got the on-hit Varus. Potentially the Aatrox comes in line at some point, maybe when the Sterax comes through. But again, you look at the Mammoth composition, Aphelios is just going to keep scaling, especially with the Karma. Viego isn't going to get any weaker, so you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But at least it doesn't put a point of pressure on Gravitas, because again, the soul that they'll get is just a cloud. Like, it really doesn't do much. Oh.
Good ultimate there from Shinky, but he's just going to fall on down. Lethality, Aphelios do whatever he can from afar. He gets the double kill to start things off with his Frost. The dream set up for a team fight. Topped up and healthy, and no fear in the world. Those shields, that speed, becoming a bit of a nuisance.
Well, we're going to give credit where credit's due. I don't know if we saw that because the camera panned there a little bit late, but Shinky landed the hook onto Thomas Shen, right? Like, that's, if you're landing hooks onto 80 carries as a Thresh, I mean, you've done your job if you fall down, right? Like, you've done your job. You flayed him into a box. He's just been one-shot by Frost. So again, Shinky's finding the hooks this game and this series, and he's having a good performance.
Certainly is. He's proving that these statistics can be changed. Let's watch it back again, because it started off with him finding a fantastic hook, as you said, in the box after.
I mean, Thomas Shen was the one that wanted it, right? Like, it wasn't like Shinky flash hooked or flash flayed. Thomas Shen walked up, missed the chain of corruptions, got hooked for his troubles, and he's as good as dead. So again, nice sidestep, mechanical outplay, or a miss, whichever one you want to pencil it down to. But Mammoth picking up a 7k gold lead now.
Yeah, just getting a little bit harder now for Gravitas to try and come back into this matchup. You start to wonder, what is their next move? You know, are we waiting for extra items? Are you just hoping to bank on the fact that Mammoth have been in positions like this before with leads and fallen victim?
They have fallen victim, but I think games have been in a more coin flip state. I think this is a pretty steady state for Mammoth, right? All they have to do is wait for this next Baron. They have Thresh. They have so much pick available to them. And game is in a state where, you know, Nectar can have a field day in a side lane, or he can have a field day in the team fight. And when you play, when you have multiple options, it's hard to lose from that point. It's when you need to, have a linear win condition where it's either a team fight, it's either a pick, or you lose. That's where you start to run into a bit of problems. But I feel like Mammoth can play this game, in multiple ways to really close this one out.
They feel very squishy, don't they? Because, Safa was meant to, complement Akano, but he's jumping on in, falling on down very early on. In many cases, having to pop the ultimate to disengage away just for the HP. Safa really isn't a factor at this stage to discuss. I mean, just look at the score sheet and compare him and Nectar in terms of what they actually possess right now. It's night and day, but it's really rough.
And it's also not a frontline volley bear, right? Like, it's Divine Sunderer, then half a Sterax, and it's a 3-item Aphelios. Like, you're not a frontline, but you also don't do enough damage to kill Frost. So it's just going to have to be a big collective effort from Gravitas to win this one, as Safa's dead again.
Once again, Shinky just continuing to find these hooks. He's going to fall on down, but he'll pay that price because this might just mean that they win the team fight. Gudo survives. And Nectar on the hunt. He has become the Aatrox, forced to flash away, receives the exhaust, but happy to bear that one for the meantime. A 1-for-1 trade. Support for a top laner.
All things considered, not a bad team fight for Gravitas, right? With Tomashin really ramped up there with the auto attacks, having Lulu buffed him. Maybe when the Infinity Edge comes through, that's where they're going to be feeling most comfortable, most confident to really win this one.
This is what you want to see as well, Jubes, was forget about the Dragon, not too concerned about that one, don't want to worry about the Elder. Maybe just start to place all your vision and pressure top side.
That's what I think they're hoping for now, yeah? They've seen how that skirmish played out, and Tomashin was able to free fire. Actually did a pretty decent amount to Gudo in particular. So if he says, okay guys, I just need IE and we'll team fight again, this is probably the window for Gravitas. Again, take the Dragon. They're not concerned with this Dragon going across because they don't have to fight for an Elder.
A little bit more time to wait. A little bit more chance here for Gravitas to find their opening, their comeback condition. We've seen big leads like this in the past, not only in OS, but globally as well. It is a tall ask. But can Gravitas show that depth of courage and Titan mentality to claw themselves back into things and say we deserve to be, top 4 discussion? Or can Mammoth say, all right, it's our time to shine and we're going to find our victory?
And it would be a Titan mentality. And this is it. The Infinity Edge is online for the Varus and they decide that's it. They've called their bluff. Let's have a team fight.
Burning it down to 50. Predator's being popped. Buying time for Nectar. He's got a GA. Final spark goes out. The fight's already a 4v5 before the even started. Chain of Corruptions does not spread, but they won't mind. They've done enough, but Frost, so close to that Moonlight Vigil.
If he hits that...
I tell you what, they're all down. They're gone. They're out the fight.
That's a rinsing if he hits that. But now, Gravitas live to fight another day. And Thresh is down this time, so it's fightable.
They're treading dangerous water at this stage.
Look at Lux
re-engaging the Baron.
Lux ulti is nearly up.
Soon to be used. Nectar playing from the shadows, looking for a pick target.
Flip it.
Waves locked in place.
They're going to flip it.
This has to be a 50-50 flip. Gravitas feel pressure that they need to do something right now. Sonic Wave is there. It's getting lower and lower. Final spot, they've stolen it! Mammoth have got the Baron. They've got the kills. They get a double. They get it all.
Tomashin!
They will take it all. But can Tomashin find the resets? He's on hit, but he's fallen on down. Frost denies him, clutching so closely. Oh, and then Kiyose fails the flash. That pretty much sums it up for Gravitas this game.
Is that game? Does he just go bot side and end the game? Look at that HP.
Mammoth are going to do the unthinkable. We've all been hoping, we've all been praying. At 31 minutes, they may have done enough, but the respawn time is 20 seconds and counting to break this inhib and rush straight through to the Nexus.
The 0-12 power spike, potentially the 1-12 Mammoth. They might have their first game on the cards here as a win. Can Floppy do anything about it? Nope.
No. The short answer is not a chance. Mammoth have not had a victory since the 3rd of March, but they'll find their first victory here today.
You have to be happy for Nectar. I saw his celebrations in the bottom side of the screen, and I had a little bit of a cheer for him. So, I mean, it's such a good game from him. Gudo, they look so happy. Again, when you see a team this happy, you've got to be happy for them, except Wei. Wei's like, no, they put me on karma. I didn't win. This isn't a win.
He's not happy about that. He wanted to be the star of the show, did he?
No,
but you can see what it means. And this is the beauty of having live cam feeds, because you can see what it means to these players, right? They are clearly over the moon about this performance. They've been saying notoriously on social media for weeks now, today will be the day we get this victory. And maybe all it took was for Wei just to lose all his hair.
That's the buff, man. I'm telling you, Caps did it. Wei said, I've got to do it. And since Wei shaved his head, is that 100% win rate?
I don't know, but I can tell you what, we can welcome back Mac as we can ask him, what do you think about a performance like that? Mammoth, finally, on the board.
1 second, I'm just cleaning my glasses. Did that happen? Did we just see Mammoth finally getting a dub on the board? That's huge. That's spectacular. Congratulations to Mammoth. And of course, as you mentioned, 100% win rate for Bald Wei. So let's see if that continues, although it looked like I couldn't tell if he was talking with his hand over his mouth because he just didn't want anyone to see what he was saying, or if he was just sitting there in regret with his hand over his mouth, because it was odd. Everyone else was bloody stoked, though. So Mammoth, they've done it, and they are mostly very excited about it.
I mean, it all started here, Juice. Surely, right? The fact that you come down bot lane 3 minutes into the game and you get yourself a triple kill and you say, all right, I start to believe we're going into these laning phases now with some sheer power.
Look, it wasn't as clean as Mammoth would have liked. I think, that last team fight was dangerously close, and a lot of these skirmishes were. So we're still seeing the class coming out of Gravitas, even though the game was kind of at such a bad state for them, they were able to find picks like this and still able to, potentially turn the game around. But Nectar and Gudo were just a little bit too good this game, as I say sometimes.
I just want to point out as well that both the color casters got this pick correct. So there is two people that are not mere mortals. They are just seeing everything that's happening, knowing that the 0-12 power spike exists.
No.
Look, Frost is so lucky to get away with his life in that situation there as well. However, it was Nectar just tearing up on the Viego there in the top lane towards the end. And look, that's a 11k gold diff. Mammoth doing work. Even though the Dragons were there for Gravitas, they couldn't quite get the soul. They couldn't get the Baron either, which was stolen away. And I think that was the perfect turning point for Mammoth to go, you know what? Game's over, boys. Let's get this dub. And they certainly took that with open arms. So anything in terms of the numbers you boys want to discuss?
I mean, when you run a composition with Karma mid lane, you want your AD character to be doing a lot of damage. So, the fact that Frost, even though they had probably, I would say, not their best game as a duo, Frost and Shinky, by all means, Shinky landed some good hooks. But putting out those numbers is always a good sight to see.
Yeah, very, very good job. Now, I think Mammoth, at this point, there has to be one scenario where they can make playoffs if they win 8 in a row. But at the same time, it will rely on at least 5 teams not getting over 9 wins on the board. So it's
that's doable. For sure doable.
It certainly is. Maybe it's 9. I think there's 9 games left. Anyway, we do
the
have
stars would need to align and everything, Mac.
interview ready. We do have Nat down on the sidelines to bring back. Nat, what did you think of that game?
It was great. I absolutely loved it. We always talked about the fact that Mammoth needed to step up, and gosh darn it, they did it today.
They certainly did. Now, who do you have for the winner's interview?
I'm going to be joined by top lane Nectar. Congratulations on the win. How does it feel?
It feels, I'm lost for words. It feels really good. Just, yeah.
I could only imagine. Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear. You guys, like I said, you stepped up today. We saw a different side of Mammoth that we've never seen. What happened? How are you guys turning around like this?
Well, for the past few weeks, we've definitely had a lot of communication issues, and we've been working on that a lot, So, that bot play was pretty much all communicated, I'm like, I got Pride top here, they can't look bot, it's good communication.
Who was doing those calls? Because it was very clear, very concise, and you guys had the aggression that you needed.
So Gudo's been picked up shot calling in our team lately, but we kind of just try to give everyone information, and then I guess, just try to make the right play.
Was there anything interesting that came out from the draft for you guys, or did it go the way that you expected and you got all of the champs that you kind of ideally wanted?
Well, we're really surprised that they banned the Gwen. We actually, we really thought they would first pick the Gwen, but they didn't. So that made me feel really happy. I think the champion's just really broken. I'm surprised they just didn't first pick it. So yeah.
Were you nervous to come up against Safa, being that he is such a powerhouse for Gravitas?
Not really. I got a favorable matchup, and I'm really confident in it. I've played a lot of Aatrox in my time, so I know the champion in and out. I say a lot of people lose to it, but I just don't think they know the timings in between the Qs and that, and they just don't respect the E. So I'm always confident versus Aatrox.
I love to hear it. And last question, really quickly, was there a moment in that game that you felt, you guys could feel the lead slipping away, or did you always have trust that you could win this game out?
Well, personally, when we didn't get anything off the Baron, I'm just like, oh man, are they going to turn this around? It's Gravitas, we see him come back a lot. So yeah, definitely the Baron play with that. We didn't abuse that much. So yeah.
Well, look, you ended up getting the win anyway. Congratulations on the first win for you guys at this split.
Thank you.
A big W, and very happy there for Nectar. And look, I think it goes without saying that the player that delivered as well could have been anyone, but it was Nectar. Everyone, hashtag respect the neck today. Man didn't go down. 9 big old kills there, 8 assists, 73% kill participation, and he did a whole lot of work there for them, Jubes, didn't he?
He did, and in those team fights, getting those resets, it was crucial to really closing out that game. I mean, we looked at we saw the 80 carry damage, but didn't do it justice to how influential Nectar was in that particular game.
Yep.
Yeah, just his best game to split. He's never had a game where he's not died once. So, this is a performance that he can be incredibly proud of. And, you could argue that Goodo put in some solid performances as well, assisting him with the targeted gank, stealing with the Baron, and showing that they had this, this policy to close out the game. But I think as a whole, Nectar, well earned, well deserved.
Yeah, I think compared to pretty much every other game we've seen from Nectar, this has to be his standout performance this split so far. We did see him do a lot of work in split 1 for Mammoth. Unfortunately, they've had a bit of a rough run here, at least to the start of split 2. Hopefully, with Nectar starting to perform now, they can maybe turn that one around. But speaking of turning it around, look, how about you turn around, do a 360, kick your legs up. I don't know if that's a dance move or not, but exclamation playlist in chat. Make sure you get ready to boogie on down to Body by JC, by Creed the Kid. That's the guy. Anyway, he's a good guy. You should go follow him on all of his socials. But look, we've got Pentanet and the Chiefs coming up as the final game of the day. I love you all dearly. Please don't hurt me, and I'll see you on the other side of this break.
Right? They know they can't stay under this turret, particularly with, they probably think Volibear ult is up, and this will actually...
Wow, that's a turnaround. Well played, Kyosei.
I feel like that's illegal.
This has to be a 50-50 flip. Gravitas feel pressure that they need to do something right now. Sonic Wave is there. It's getting lower and lower.
Oh!
They've stolen it. Mammoth have got the Baron. They've got the kills. They get a double. They get it all.
Thomas Shen.
They will take it all. But can Thomas Shen find the